Hey everyone, it's Russell. I hope you're doing well today. And today I got another R.L. Stine Goosebumps book review video for you guys today. And as you can tell, my background has changed up a bit again since last time because my parents wanted me to review my next videos, and this background right here, right in front of this door right here, right outside my room. Yeah, those other videos I took, my parents just wouldn't let me take anymore. They didn't like the videos I took in with the other background, so they wouldn't let me take any more videos with that background anymore, so I had to change up a bit. But anyways, this is a Goosebumps, R.L. Stine Goosebumps Series 2000 book, which is book number 19, called Return to Ghost Camp. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a first printing, even though it doesn't have the raised lettering, but it does have the number on the spine, so I think it's probably a first printing, but I think it's also a bootleg because the actual both covers are a little bit longer than the actual page length itself. It's really, really hard to see on camera. You might be able to see just that little line of white right there. Just that little strip of white. That's how much longer the covers are, and the actual page length. So that makes me suspect that this is a bootleg copy. And I got this copy brand new off of eBay, and it shipped all the way from India. I think I mentioned that before in one of my other Goosebumps book videos. But anyways, Return to Ghost Camp. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. I think I mentioned before that this book is easily not one of my favorite Goosebumps books I've ever read. It's probably one of my least favorites. I really didn't love this book. I kind of liked it. It was just kind of a mildly decent, let's put it that way, book for me. I don't know if it was exactly fine. It was just mild, you know. It was one of the most, if not the number one most worst Goosebumps camp book I've ever read. Worse than One Night at Camp Bigfoot, and that one's like the House of Shivers book, and I didn't love that one either. But I mentioned before that I still like the concept of the Bigfoot monster in that book, but this book, I don't know. But the cover is very neat. A lot of people love this artwork. I personally love it. It's one of my favorite, Brandon Dorman or Tim Jacobus. I can't remember who did this cover art. This one's one of my favorite Goosebumps cover arts ever done, with the Snatcher villain character right here. It's the main antagonist villain of the book. The campfire and everything down there is just great. It's rising from the campfire. That's great. Yeah, this cover is definitely not a lie. The Snatcher, this won't be spoilers, I hope, but the Snatcher does actually appear in the very ending of this book. At least near the very ending of this book. And I'm going to tell you, the ending of this book is really, really intense. And that's where the stakes just totally ramp up by like 100, maybe even more miles per hour. The stakes just ramp up so fast getting to the ending, but the rest is just not worth it to read, and I don't recommend this book. The rest is just so boring. It's just, all this book is just being at a normal, ordinary camp, you know. That's it. It's just them doing camp stuff until the ending, which is just the best. The beginning is kind of okay. The setup, I don't know, but basically also, never mind. I was going to say something else, but I forgot it. So let's go ahead and start the plot of this book. Basically, you have a very scaredy cat boy named Dustin. He's always struggling with nightmares every night, you know. He's just a very, very nervous kid with a lot of anxiety. Kind of like me, but also kind of not. Yeah, I actually like Dustin as a character, especially near the ending where he actually decided it was the perfect time to be brave once and for all against the Snatcher in the final showdown. Which, yeah, that final showdown was just terrific in my opinion. But the rest of the plot was, again, just nothing. It was just boring, bland, dry, and dull. But yeah, you have him. He's going on the bus to Camp Full Moon. Yes, Camp Full Moon. Like, why Full Moon? Like, this book is not even a direct sequel at all to the original Ghost Camp book from the original series, and I think that's why a lot of people hate this book the most. This is one of the most hated books in all Goosebumps, and I think that's mostly why. I think a lot of people feel like really offense that this book just totally ruined the idea of the first book, if that makes any sense. You know, it's just not even a sequel. I can totally agree with that too, but yeah. Anyways, you have Dustin. He's heading on the bus. He meets this kind of muscular, athletic kid named Ari. Like, who names their kid Ari? A-R-I. Why Ari? That's a 3-letter name. Why? Anyways, Ari's just kind of a lame kid. He's just one of those more typical Goosebumps characters, but Dustin's the more interesting one at least. But Ari just isn't. Even though he's muscular, he's athletic, he's just not, I just didn't really like Ari. He's also kind of mean too, kind of a mean kid, not mean-spirited by any way, just kind of mean, but anyways, I think as they're heading to camp, basically Ari asks Dustin if he wants to do a prank with him involving both of them switching their identities. So like Ari becomes Dustin and Dustin becomes Ari for like during the camp time, so that they can like mess around with the counselors and other kids and staff and stuff. And the prank, well, the particular prank actually went well. I'm surprised how they actually pulled it off pretty well in this book. So yeah, basically there's like a really clean camp that like I think the like oldest counselors go into. They get the nice camp cabin with all the nice bunks and everything, whereas the new campers get a disgusting, like, bug-infected cabin with, like, very, very dirty, messed up, destroyed, eaten up bunks. And that's where Ari was sent to, because everybody thought Ari was Dustin? No, oh, my bad. Yeah, everybody thought Ari was Dustin, so that's why he was sent to the most dirtiest bunk, and everybody thought Dustin was Ari. So then they sent the real Dustin, who was supposedly Ari in the prank, and they sent him to the clean bunk. So things got totally switched around. Now, I thought I was going to like that identity switching plot thing in this book, but I totally did not. It was so frustrating to follow. It was not interesting. It was not fun. It was not funny or scary or anything like that. I just could not stand it. It was very confusing at times, and that's really frustrating me at this point. But yeah, after all that, the counselors, kids start telling Dustin about like the Snatcher, who like steals one camper every year, and that's of course him right here on the cover. He's like a phantom that like can change to a fox. You know, he's just, I mean, on the cover again, it's just done really nicely, very nicely described in the book too. But yeah, anyways, that's basically all I have to say without spoiling anything else, besides one more thing that basically, since all the counselors think that Dustin is Ari, they keep telling him weird things like, you know what you gotta do, right? So do it, I think. Yeah, it's like so weird. Dustin doesn't know what's going on. Neither does Ari. And it's also strange because they're not asking the real Ari, who's supposedly like Dustin, to do that. He's not. They're not asking that same thing either. But yeah, that was just kind of weird. I'm not gonna spoil why they keep asking the real Dustin that. But anyways, yeah, the book, it was just, I didn't like it. I'm sorry, but yeah, I just did not like it. And I can, again, completely understand why a lot of other people don't either. But yeah, when it comes to ranking Ghost Camp, or Return to Ghost Camp, my apologies, I'd probably give this one a 1.5 or 2 out of 5. That's as high as I'm going to rank it because I absolutely could not really stand this book. I'm sorry, but yeah, Return to Ghost Camp, just kind of a disappointing stinker to me. Anyways, guys, that wraps up my book review for you guys today. So stay tuned, subscribe down below, comment down below if you want to see any more of my videos, and I'll see you again in my next videos. Take care.